Hello, everybody. It's Marty, the JavaScript party, and my buddy Rhett. This is a later than normal video because the last 2 days I've been spending most of my time reorganizing my office and my living room, like kind of swapping out furniture between the office and living room. And my beautiful wife and just loving children and my loving daughter-in-law just came over and helped me. And they did that because it was my birthday last week. And they were like, "What do you want, Dad, for birthday and for your birthday?" And I was like, "I would like to redo my office. Like I mean, my office was real nice. I liked it the way it was before, but I felt like I could make it better. And I do think this is definitely better for me. Just a couple things I wanted to kind of just reorganize things so that it just worked a little better for me. All right, so we're doing good. We're working on unit tests. I can't go too long on this one because, it's already like 6:25, April 4th, 2025. It says temperatures to plummet tomorrow. It is 80 degrees Fahrenheit out there right now. Most people find that to be quite warm. Today it's supposed to, I guess, add a high of 82. And tomorrow the high is 68, which is supposed to be perfect. And then it's supposed to have a low of 46, which I wish it was going to be like maybe 10 degrees lower than that because that would be 36, which I think is enough to wipe out the mosquitoes. So right now we do have mosquitoes that are running around dining on us as we go outside and play. But anyway, so we are at 99.16 coverage on statements, 99.15 coverage on lines. So we have 948 lines of code and 952 statements. We have two uncovered branches, so that's 97.95, and then three uncovered functions, so that's 98.73. So we're getting pretty close to having 1,000 lines of code. And that's pretty incredible, like what all we've been able to do in just 1,000 lines of code. I mean, with the routing and tables and stuff like that. All right, so the next step is, and I'll just tell you, there's just nothing I would rather do. I mean, honestly, like, I mean, obviously, spending time with my family and all that, but like, I don't know, like just from a hobby perspective and just a general activities kind of a thing like that, there's just nothing I'd rather do than code. I just love coding. I wonder, like, I'm not in any hurry to get the, as you could tell, if you've been watching, I'm in no hurry to get this application done. And I would say that the reason is because, man, once you get an application and if people like it, the problems you have change very, very dramatically. And the main problem is that people will want the code to do something that it doesn't do. And they kind of promised, usually, what this is how it happens. They promise something. They're like, "Oh, yeah, I can build that for you, blah, 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 no problem." They see some code, some product or something. They're like, "I can just do it." And then when it doesn't do it, it infuriates them. And then they just start like looking for anyone and any reason to force someone to fix it for them. Just sort of the nature. All right, so I think we decided we want to do routing. So let's go ahead and do routing. Okay, so basically all we have is a set routing detail function. That's the only thing that isn't covered. So let's go ahead and at least say should set routing detail. Let's do that. All right, so we got to find set routing detail. There's a lot of ways to do this. Probably the easiest, most direct way to do it would just be to like copy the name of the file because that's up here. And then in most cases, I have worked in some places where names are like consistent, like they have different sections of the code, and then every one of them has its own home.t, so like that won't really work in that specific scenario. Um, there's just like a lot of organizations that can sort of throw a lot of resources at something and just make something and just end up with thousands of copies in different ways, and no one's really thinking about it, and no one's being is really concerned. So I want to close others because there's just a lot open. And this is the bad boy. It's a bad guy right here. He's not covered. It's not really, I guess it's not bad. It's just the unit test isn't. So I don't remember that being the case yesterday where, oh my gosh, where it wasn't recognizing Jasmine Karma. Like I specifically set it up to recommend to to do Jasmine Karma over Cypress. Okay, so anyways, okay, so this thing should set routing details. Should set routing details. I think that's all this thing does, right? It just sets the routing details. So we're going to give it our function. So we give it like a description and an actual function to execute. And what it's looking for is an expect function, and this is the assertion. So you make some commands and then you assert that they happened. So what does this return? So it returns a Boolean. So I'm just going to call it set routing result. And this is a Boolean. I guess we don't need to declare it. And then we're going to say service because this is a service and that is what it got named up top. And dot. And then set. It says set routing detail wants a routing type. I don't even know what so it can be custom, data, tabular, or update. I don't care. I think update is, I guess tabular is the one we've been working on. So I'm going to say routing type, comma, and it's a type of routing layout type, routing layout type. And this is equal to, let's go with data. Data is what we're working on. All right. So now we're going to pass in the routing type. And then we got a routing layout type and a routing layout detail type. So what are, I guess we'll just come over here and we'll say const routing layout detail type. It's routing layout type, and that is equal to, I guess, entities. All right, and so now we're going to pass it that. And I'm just going to hit save and just see what we get. See if it succeeds, it fails. Now all it does is automatically return a true no matter what, so I don't know. Let's hit reload. Okay, so see it does not seem like it ran it. Unless we have a fit somewhere, which I don't think we have. Yeah, so let's reload. This always works in Jasmine Karma to reload. Okay, so we did have an error. This router navigate is not a function. So it's kind of weird because it does inject the router up here. So you would think that it would have access to the actual router that was defined here. I just don't have any idea why this router. Okay, so let's come over here. Yeah, see, we created routers. Oh, we mocked the router. So now I'm mocking the router. It needs to have a function on it, my mock, and I'm not real strong on this. So service routing detail, it's complaining that this line router navigate doesn't exist. And all we did was mock it up here. And this is our mock router. Now, I think we can give it a function. We could actually go like this. What's it trying to get to? It's trying to get to navigate. 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 And this is how I always do things, and I don't really understand exactly what it's doing. But so now we just gave it a function that's just empty. It doesn't do anything. Now I think we can also set up like a spy or something like that and get basically the same thing. All right. So I don't know if it ran again or not. I don't think so. I feel like Jasmine Carmen's acting weird right now. All right, so I got all going. Oh yeah, we got one tan that or one muted one, which is saying that we don't have any, but we do have our 100%. So we're going to say this, and then we're going to say we just expect this setting round. Expect. I guess we have to do that by hand. We got to do that the old-fashioned way. Set routing result to equal. So I wonder how Rhett's doing back there. Oh, you're doing good. To equal. She's a little like, I don't really like these changes, but I like it a lot better now. I think she'll like it in the long run. She can get a lot more places now than she could before. Now, I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing or how I'm going to have to affect things, but to be false. I think that to be false is a function that we can use because we had the one. No, that's wrong. Okay, so this should fail actually. We should get an error. So it did not run because it should be true actually. Because literally we have a hard-coded return true. Okay, so that failed. And it failed because it said that one failed. It's not really telling me what failed. I think if I come in here, I could say expected true to be false. Right there is what it, right here. Okay. So instead of to be true, false, we want it to be true. All right. Yeah, I've did a lot of coaching in my past, and I remember one of the things that, like, one of my experiences was that, like, I really enjoy coaching a team that is like losing a little bit more than the winning, or possibly like 500 or winning a little bit more. But like you have a lot of problems, but really the main problem when you have a losing team is like to be like just get everybody upbeat, try to get them focused on like specific things that they can get better at and all that. But um when you get good, when the team starts winning a lot and all that, oh man, the problems that you start to have are so complex because everyone wants their playing time and everybody doesn't think that they're getting enough opportunities to shoot, and they're not getting enough opportunities to do this and that, and blah blah blah. And it just gets so hard. Whereas when you're losing, it's just like nobody really wants to play, so you just have to encourage them to go out there and have fun playing. So much easier. But anyway, so that is that. We have 100% on this. I think we have one more. I think we only have one function or one class, one file that is not 100%. And okay, so and there's only one. And let's see, we'll just take a quick look, figure out what we're going to be doing tomorrow. So we want to, so we definitely have to pull this out of the effect. It's very, very difficult to manipulate the information that and get effect to run. So we want to just call a function, pass it the detail type, and then it handle this router setting this stuff. I think this one will be a little bit easier because we just need to call this and pass it in the entities, and then we'll get in there. And then this one, we likely will probably just want to have this function pull the, see, there's nothing special about this function. So um, this one's easy. We can easily just pull this into a pure function and it'll just run it. And then we can test it directly. And then menu changed. Yeah, I think this one's super easy. All we do is call it. So it shouldn't be too bad. I don't see. The hardest one is going to be this one right here. And it shouldn't be too bad. Anyways, that'll do it for today. I know it's short, 16 minutes, so you might actually watch it. So we might actually make it to the end of this one because it's only 16 minutes, 17 minutes long. Happy coding, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Bye.